Hi, welcome to joshlebo.com. Today I want to talk about something that I consider to be a really cool and essential concept that has to do with standing on one leg or single leg control or single leg stability or just shifting your weight from side to side, which is something that we do all day long and that we have to do. I think about it as carving a turn. Now, any of you have skied, I mean, you know the feeling of dropping into a turn and just feeling your skis carve in and out. It just feels so beautiful. If not, think about watching a dolphin sort of dive in and out of the water at a slight angle, and you know that feeling of just dropping and diving, or being in an airplane and turning in, diving into that sort of banked turn. It just feels so beautiful. We're actually doing that every step. Right here at the level of the diaphragm, we're actually carrying our rib cage into a beautiful sort of carved turn as I move my weight to my left leg. Now, I'm not turning my shoulders or doing any big action. What I'm doing is I'm subtly controlling between, right here in this area that I always talk about, this safe area, the idea of being safe, right? And on one side, if we get safe on one side, we're literally going to use the internal oblique muscles, the transverse abdominis, to sort of pull us toward that side and anchor us over the leg that we're on so we can pick up and free the other one. What's happening at the level right here of the diaphragm is that carved turn. I'm literally diving, it's sort of coming forward, it's tipping, and it's rolling over to the other side to bring me into that position. So I'm literally carving my turn. I'm on my left leg. I carve my turn. I'm on my right leg. You can see this, if I go to my right leg, this outer rib sort of lifts a little and turns toward that leg while this side pins down and holds me here. Now the beauty of that is as this side spins over and pulls, and I anchor to this leg and it's sort of level of the diaphragm carves its turn, it's literally angling all of the contents, the fluid, the viscera, all the sort of liquid heavy contents, and it's gently spilling them over the leg I'm standing on. And if I don't do that and I let it go, they're going to pull me off to the other side. I mean, think about carrying this big bucket of like water or fluid up here. I've got to actually aim it toward the leg I'm standing on if I want to be here efficiently. And right here in that abdominal wall, in this A muscle of that sort of internal oblique in that safe position, sort of pulls me over and pins my lower rib cage to my pelvis, which brings the far end of this rib cage over into the hemisphere that I'm standing on. This is critical, and it feels beautiful. So when I'm kind of shifting leg to leg, I have this little rotary dive right there. Back to this side, this little rotary dive. Now you see my shoulders are barely doing anything because I'm not turning with my shoulders. This is a sort of turn at the level of the sternum, right? They're just pulling you over to the side you're standing on. My shoulders may actually go back in the opposite direction, but if you notice, this is still facing and pinned to this side, even though my shoulders have rotated back the other way. So these are weird concepts, and I don't want you to watch the shoulders. I want you to think about what's happening right here between your diaphragm and your deep abdominal wall, between your pelvis and your lower ribs. They are actually what's carving your turn with every weight shift. And if you can get it, you can feel it. You feel not only the stability as this pulls you this way, you don't tip backwards. Most people, when they walk, they land on that foot and they come right back into this sort of unstable falling back position because they've lost it here, right? Or when you see someone stand over to do a single leg deadlift and their leg goes back behind them, or your leg goes back behind them, that's this rib cage pulling you to this direction off out of the hemisphere you're standing on. We really have to have that abdominal wall engaged to stay on this left side, since this is the side I'm choosing to be on. And if I let it go, I'm going to fall, or I'm going to fall into the side that I'm not stable on. So we really want to learn how to hold ourselves to one side or the other so we can pick up another leg. That key is really right here in the abdominal wall, and it's in that triplanar movement of carving your turn. Right, I've got a little flexion. I think about it like an airplane banking a turn. As it dives, right? It's going to actually dive a little. I think of the wings right here, the cockpit right here. It's going to dive a little, it's going to tip a little, and it's going to spin a little, right? Right here. I'm on my right leg. And I get a little of the air out. Often that helps because that's what the abdominal wall should be doing, is helping to pull a little of that air out, deflate this side, and give it space for the sort of fluid and viscera to gently sort of slide toward, right? So I'm holding right here on this side. I'm going to bank my turn, carve my turn with every step. I feel my anterior abdominal wall with every step that I take. As I land on that left leg, I'm actually landing on this safe position in this abdominal wall. I'm not landing on my leg. I'm landing right here in this safe position. I'm landing right here in this safe position. This is huge. Think about it for running. So many runners, when they land, first they land and then they catch themselves. We need to be able to land right here in this left world, in this left abdominal. We need to be able to land in this right world, in this right abdominal without being pulled off. Think of the knee twisting and the hip twisting that happens when someone's pulled off their standing leg because of the weight of the torso drifting and shifting. And this is what I see all the time. I see all these knee and hip injuries that are actually just results of this loss of torso control in single-legged activities. So I'm sure you may have a lot of questions about that. Hopefully it clarified some of the things I've said before. I wish you all luck. Once again, joshlaveau.com. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help.